You may have noticed that there's a saying or two in alcoholism recovery. In the rooms of sobriety and recovery, there's a catchy phrase or two, one of which is, "It takes what it takes." This is referring both to it takes what it takes to get sober, and it takes what it takes to stay sober. The saying is, if you walk 10 miles into the woods, you'll have to walk 10 miles out. Perseverance being one of the principles of AA. In sobriety, the going may get rough and you might get exhausted. Early sobriety exhaustion, early sobriety fatigue is a thing. In the depths of your addiction, you may get exhausted. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. Why can't I ever get sober? You may ask yourself. It takes what it takes. Maybe you've hit a year of sobriety and you say to yourself, what the I can drink. This life sucks. Well, it takes what it takes. Hey, Kelly. It is pretty cool working at the zoo. Did I tell you that? Oh, you must be watching the Sober James live stream every night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Steve Nankin, hey, hope your day is good, bro. I hope your day is good as well, Steve. My day is great. My back is injured, but it takes what it takes. Mike, that's one of my favorite movies. You watch it weekly. Wow. You know, I used to watch the movie Jaws for the shark as a child. Now I watch it for the dialogue. Kelly, that's a pretty picture you got going on there. Yeah, well, that's on topic. Me finally getting a job, me getting back into the swing of life, me getting my life back after alcoholism, relapse, prolonged time without a drink, but not necessarily sober. Yeah, the dialogue is, as an adult, I enjoy the dialogue. If you walk 10 miles into the woods, you gotta walk 10 miles back out. In early sobriety, we get impatient. I'm 2 months sober. Where are all these promises I've been promised? Well, if you walked 10 miles into the woods, you got to walk 10 miles out. If you swim 2 miles out to sea, you got to swim 2 miles back. If you swim 10 miles out to sea, it might take some help by the Coast Guard for you to get back. The Coast Guard is Alcoholics Anonymous. Community. I get drunk, we get sober. Say it with me. I get drunk, we get sober. It takes what it takes. One of those things is other recovering alcoholics and addicts. If you're a heroin addict, you need other recovering heroin addicts. If you want to be an active heroin addict, you need other heroin addicts that are active. If you want to be a recovering heroin addict, you need other recovering heroin addicts. We alcoholics are not necessarily the most patient type. We have to learn this and practice it. It takes what it takes is a favorite saying of mine. A lot of you on these streams, I've been hearing that you're just fed up with drinking. And you're fed up with the proposed solution of Alcoholics Anonymous. You're fed up with it all. Well, it takes what it takes. You're obviously not fed up enough, or you would take the solution. There are times where I'm fed up with Alcoholics Anonymous. It hasn't happened once in the past 7 months, but it has happened before, and I stopped going. And guess what that took? My sobriety right out from underneath me. Stop going to meetings, you'll start drinking, is my personal experience. The Hunt for Red October is Mike's second favorite movie. How is the tapering from the SSRI? I'm totally off of Prozac and totally relying on the spiritual solution of Alcoholics Anonymous. It is legit. Trust in God, clean house, help others. The best antidepressant, anti-anxiety in the world, baby. But I am tapered off of the Prozac. Kelly, not good, I take it. Sorry, was just curious. Oh no, the zoo's awesome. I'm sorry I didn't answer you, Kelly. The zoo is awesome. I got a cute little air-conditioned shack. I just sit in. I'm gonna start a blog this Saturday. Saturday and Sunday I'll be working, so no more streaming on Saturday and Sunday. So that means daily weekdays at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be streaming. Let me change that right here. Weekdays. That'll work. But yeah, I love the zoo. I literally have to walk around the zoo every 3 hours. That means 3 times in a 7-hour shift. Every 3 hours, I have to get up and walk around the zoo. I'm totally alone in the Greenville Zoo, which is pretty crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah, I thought the withdrawal was hell, although my prescriber insists that it's, in his words, exceedingly rare to have the flu-like symptoms that I had. He suggested that I caught COVID because it was going around. Too legit to quit. Hey. You know, I heard Chuck Norris went into MC Hammer's house and touched everything. Taking Zoloft for 10 years. Yeah, I've been on one antidepressant or another since 2007, the time of my horrible car accident as a result of drunk driving. That video here on the Sober James channel, and as many as 2 more. No, I have 100 videos and 500 or 600 live streams, many of which you can't access unless you are a member. So check out that join button for perks. Noah hasn't drank today, was willing to buy some weed, but I didn't. You got to be willing to recover, bro. You're willing to buy some weed, you're going to buy some weed. You got to be willing to recover. It takes what it takes. Noah, say to yourself, you know what? I want to try the drug of sobriety. I haven't not gotten messed up on something in a long time. I think I'm going to try that and see how high I can get on sobriety. I've done that. I did that. I'm doing it. I am reaping the rewards of sobriety and recovery. Spiritual in nature. It's the greatest high on earth. Somebody's giving me some hearts. Don't forget to hit the like button and share this with somebody you love. What's up, Cats for Life? Mike Tucker might try going up as SSRI, but only if I have a month off with no stress. Well, it takes what it takes, and if, in this case, it takes a badass. I've come off of a shit ton of shit, and one time I suffered a grand mal seizure because of it. I don't always do it right, but you can bet one thing, I'm gonna do it. Does zoo turn light off at night so critters have some peace? Yeah, I have a flashlight and it's dark as all hell, and the giraffes just come out of nowhere. But it's wild, man. It's cool. What's up, members? Stevie, how you doing? Addicted to gambling, but in the form of Pokemon cards. What, like collecting Pokemon cards? How far is your job from you? Like, how far a drive? 20 minutes. How far is your job? How far of a drive? 20 minutes. The zoo does not pay good. It is a dream job. I just sit. I'm gonna do a blog related to my streams of the week. Mike, thank you for the $10. Thank you. I do have a part-time job at the zoo, but it pays crap, and I'm literally doing it because it takes what it takes to get back into life. As I forgot my recovery, as I got further and further away from Alcoholics Anonymous, my life dwindled. My social life, my financial life, my health, my mental health, it all dwindles. It takes what it takes to maintain recovery, and I didn't take what it took. And I relapsed in May of 2023. I am now sober for almost seven months. Will be the 30th. So if you think you can just stop drinking without maintaining some sort of recovery program, think again. Today I was in a meeting where they were reading the first step out of the 12 and 12. And in my head, I was thinking, well, what is an opinion and what is a fact in this book? The very next sentence was, through undoubted experience, this is an AA fact. Powerlessness over alcohol. Him G buddy. Grapes. You know what I'm saying, man? Love you too, Jaber. I appreciate all of your, I appreciate you being here. I gave up on the whole YouTube rat race to make a living off of YouTube. However, I do need to keep the internet on, the lights on, and right now, listen, I've been doing the next right thing instead of aiming for what my will wants. Money, power, sex, and tires for my truck. There's my truck right there. And guess what? You guys started joining the membership. You guys started dropping super chats. It was like magic. I started doing the next right thing, doing these streams because it helps people, even when I don't want to. You know what's been entering my head for the first time in my life? Who cares what you want, James? There's people that you can help. What if someone out there needs your help tonight? What if you are actually helping others? That spiritual paycheck is, it is priceless. I can't even, I'm experiencing a spiritual awakening more and more, and it is priceless. Thank you, Purple Turtle. That's the greatest compliment in the world to receive. Fishing or hunting, I find serious peace in nature. Yes. Carrying firepower out into the woods to murder animals is seriously peacefulness in nature. No, I don't like hunting. Bro, if I'm going hunting, I'm going naked with no weapons, and I'm going to take down whatever I can with my own bare hands. And if I can't, that's nature. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going out with a 30-06 and shooting at Bambi. What are you kidding? Do I look like a silly hick? Do I look like an ignorant redneck? I used to fish, and then, because I used to believe mankind when they said things like, fish have a higher threshold for pain than we do, so a hook through the inside of their mouth and out of their eyeball doesn't really bother them. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it bothers them. You try getting hooked in the mouth and yanked out of your environment without being bothered. I lately am theorizing that mankind is actually, and this is the big folly, the big conspiracy, the biggest hoax of all time, is mankind is actually the least intelligent being on this earth. And when intelligent life passes by Earth, they lock their doors. No, I'm working at the zoo, seriously hoping that a animal rights activist rebel lioness chick will break in and be like, help me get these animals to a safe and better place. And I'll be like, I'm with you, baby. But the right thing to do for my sanity with suffering was get a job. Notice how I don't care that it's $13 an hour, part-time. It's not the most glamorous job, but like when I did the right thing instead, turns out I like the job. Turns out I'm going to start a blog because I got so much free time in the AC shack, and time flies by. I walk around, look at the animals and shit, check the gates. Dope ass job. Just did the right thing. I'm doing the right thing, spending gas money when I don't have it, and going to AA meetings. Next thing I know, people are dropping super chats. People are joining memberships. It's crazy. I'm not going to say it's as obvious as, do you see what God's doing for me, man? No, because I don't think God's sitting up there monitoring me. You know what I'm saying? I don't think God's sitting anywhere. I just think a rule, a principle, is doing the next right thing, and right things will happen. In this case, it was spirituality first, sobriety first. Get to AA meetings. Don't worry about what you're going to do for a career. Don't worry about how you're going to recarpet your house or even refloor your house. I'll never have carpets again. Don't worry about your back. Don't worry about getting a girlfriend. Don't worry about the new tires for your truck. Don't worry about the gas money. Don't worry about the good food for your dogs. Worry about getting your ass to AA meetings every day. And that's what I did. And I saw nothing. I didn't foresee any of this. I was walking blindly by faith, not by sight, because that's what I was told to do. These weren't my ideas. My ideas get me drunk. A higher power's ideas get me sober. I get me drunk. We get sober. Yeah, no problem, Mike. You don't offend me. I thought you were Mike Tucker, by the way, when you said that. That's why I talked to you like that. I didn't mean to talk to you like that, Mike DeLeon. Yeah, Mike, hit the join button. Purple Turtle, Mike, Pat Crawford. Or don't. I really don't care. I just got to remind some people don't even know it's there. Embarrassing story I have. Man, I've been spit on. One night at a lake cabin situation, the girl I was dating, her, I think, dentist had a cabin we went up there and we drank around the fire and stuff. You know, people drink it when they camp out. James will drink to excess. I don't have an off switch. I will drink fast. But in an environment like that, it's pretty easy for me to get wasted and be part of the crew. However, you know, I got toxically intoxicated. And upon falling asleep, the next thing I know, I was waking up to her boss getting out of his bed, throwing stuff at me, telling me to get the fuck out of his room because I had my pants down and I was pissing on his Gucci luggage. And that was kind of embarrassing. I was sleepwalking and peeing. This isn't the first time. I did a video about this. Look up altered mental state, sober James, sleepwalking. I also did it in Fallon, Nevada, Manhattan, New York, and that camp situation. It always involves pee, I think. I think my body has to pee, but my body's too intoxicated to wake up, basically, is how it works. I have plenty of embarrassing stories, but I'll just go with the sleepwalking theme. How to deal with stress in early sobriety. The program of Alcoholics Anonymous. Everything involving sobriety is your answers are in the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. But a lot of people will say, well, I mean, things you can supplement, that is the main thing. Meeting makers make it. But other than that, exercise, diet, journaling, you know, all the stupid Instagram geniuses answers. There's one answer. Stay in AA. Whether you have the gas money, whether you have whatever. You throw yourself into AA and at their hands and you say, help. Practicing the principles is very stress relieving. In AA, I learned how to give it to God. In AA, I learned that I didn't need to believe in a Catholic God like I was raised. I didn't need to believe in Buddha. AA, my sponsor, said, how do you see God? Because I was agnostic until about 7 months ago. All my life, 43 years, I was agnostic, meaning you couldn't prove it to me, you couldn't prove it against. But I had a lot to say about why it didn't exist and why I can't do step 3 and why I can't get down with the God word in AA. And I drank again. It's all or nothing. Half measures avail us nothing. But in AA, I learned trust in God, not myself. Without knowing it, I was trusting my own will. I was trusting my own ideas and opinions, and they were bringing stress and problems on my life, including addiction and alcoholism. So how to deal with stress in early sobriety? Run, don't walk to Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. And ask that same question. They know more than I do. If you were to ask me, I am one limited recovering alcoholic. I will tell you things like, it takes what it takes. So don't expect your stress to be gone just by practicing one thing. There's something called post-acute withdrawal syndrome, which is PAWS, P-A-W-S, up to a year, 2 years, depending on your metabolism and how hard you drank and everything. You'll have physical anxiety and shit like that for, you know, as long as it takes. It takes what it takes. If you practice the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, all the stress in your life won't just disappear magically, but you will begin to practice methods and tools, and you will learn how to handle stress like a sober person, like a human being does without medicating themselves. What do you recommend with somebody with 7,000 photos of pornography that jerks off every hour? Sex Addicts Anonymous, Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous. That program is a 12-step program utilizing the 12 steps of AA to apply to sex addiction. It's basically the same thing. We drink, we use coke, we use heroin, we jerk off. It's all in a perceived easy way to access dopamine because we don't feel okay. Oh, well, that's William Dean, AA.org will get you to a meeting near you, or Meeting Guide app on your phone. The Meeting Guide app, you can just put in your zip code, and all these meetings will come up from this point on. There's probably a 10 o'clock, depending on where you live. There might be a midnight meeting. You get there, you say, I need help. I know you can't do it on your own. From experience and the experience of the ages, it is an undeniable fact that alcoholics cannot do it on their own. Here's a simple way of explaining that. A sick mind cannot treat a sick mind. All of our ideas, even though they sound brilliant, will backfire on us. I know this from experience and the experience of others that I listen to. I know it from reading the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Here's another app, because it sounds like you're serious. Everything AA app. You can read the big book. This is what I suggest. You can read the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Once you start reading it, bro, magic happens. There's literally a chapter called There is a Solution. You can start anywhere you want. I sense in you action. It is a program of action. It isn't a program of don'ts. It is a program of do's. Do go to a meeting. Do download the Everything AA app. You can read the book for free. You can read all the literature for free. You can probably find a meeting on there. An alcoholic that has a desire to stop drinking belongs in Alcoholics Anonymous. You could say, well, that's just your opinion, man. I base my opinions on experience and history and facts. My history. And the history of Bill W., the guy who wrote the book 89 years ago. It's a fact, Jack. Alcoholics Anonymous is the largest community of recovering alcoholics in the world. It's 2 million recovering alcoholics strong. No, it's not a cult. No, it's not a religious cult. No, it's not anything your addiction is trying to tell you it is to keep you away from it. Stress. I've read before, non-alcoholism related, that the remedy for all stress is action. The remedy for anxiety is action. Move a muscle, fix a thought. Move a muscle, move a thought. You got bad thoughts going on, move a muscle. Take action. Action is the remedy for stress. In this case, if you're stressed about your drinking, you take action. The undoubted right action to take when an alcoholic is stressed about their drinking is Alcoholics Anonymous. If you ask this alcoholic who is experiencing a spiritual awakening from the program of AA like I've never experienced before, because it took what it took. For me, maybe I'm ADHD, I am ADHD. Maybe I'm Polish, I am Polish. And maybe I'm an alcoholic, I am an alcoholic. And maybe I got the personality combination that it took 43. Well, I started going to AA at like, I don't know, 20. So it took 23 years for me to get my spiritual awakening. It takes what it takes. Don't let that discourage you. Some people walk into an AA meeting and walk out with a spiritual awakening. Noah says, I wonder who the first alcoholic ever was. They probably thought they were insane. Yes, they used to throw us in loony bins. Before Alcoholics Anonymous, before the Oxford group, before Bill Wilson, before Dr. Bob, before the 12 steps, the answer for the alcoholic was the loony bin. They tried shock therapy. They tried lobotomies. The alcoholic is seemingly a crazy person because obviously they're digging their own grave, but obviously they just won't stop digging. That is the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing but expecting different results is a definition of insanity. I think it's the primary one. Doing the same thing and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. How many times have you drank thinking it was going to be different? I know for me, I've lost count. All of us here don't have enough fingers and toes to count how many times I drank and thought it was going to be different. So they used to throw us in insane asylums. Now there's a solution, and it's called Alcoholics Anonymous. And it takes what it takes. Almost every alcoholic I talk to, including myself, had a point where they're just like, I'm not going to Alcoholics Anonymous. That shit's whack. This, that, or the other thing, no matter what I said, it was my addiction lying to me in my own voice. It came a time when I was desperate enough. I had already stopped the booze, but I was miserable, irritable, and discontent, and I didn't know what the solution was. And I was pacing around my kitchen, miserable, irritable, and discontent about my life. I didn't know how to manage, because that is the ism once the alcoholism is gone. Once the alcohol is gone, you still have the ism. It's not alcoholism, it's alcoholism. Why do I say these things? No, not because I'm brainwashed. Because everything that AA has told me since the beginning has come true. Even the things that I found out before I read about them in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous have come true. That means they came true, and then I read about them in the 89-year-old book. And I'm like, holy shit, this book and this program, how the hell do they know that? I was listening to somebody read the book today. I told you at the beginning of the stream. I said, it was on the first step, which was powerlessness. In my alcoholic mind, I said, what in here is an opinion and what is fact? The very next sentence, and I kid you not, nor do I exaggerate. I'll read it. Or I can just paraphrase it. Said, powerlessness is evident by historical occurrence and therefore is a fact of alcoholism. I want to read it now. I'm going to pull up my AA app and see how long it takes me to get to that exact sentence. AA app opened. Everything AA app opened. Here's the 12 and 12. 12 and 12. There's a section that tells me where step 1 is. Step 1. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol and our lives had become unmanageable. This was what we were reading today. The story I just told you. Okay. I remember it was in the beginning. Here it is. Here it is. I was sitting there, they were reading. It says, we know that little good can come to any alcoholic who joins AA unless he has had first accepted his devastating weakness and all its consequences. in my mind, because I got ADHD, I started thinking while this person was reading this aloud, what in here is a fact and what in here is an opinion. The very next line, as I was thinking that, he was reading, "Of real happiness he will find none." Just after I stopped, I thought, what in here is an opinion and what is a fact? He read this line, "Proved beyond doubt by an immense experience, this is one of the facts of AA life." Bro, when I was 18, that happened. That happened today. Proven by immense experience, this is one of the facts of AA life. All of the things that I say on here, unless I precede it with, "Now this is just my opinion," are facts that are proven by immense experience. I believe I heard about AA because my mother would go, and when I was 18 and I was drinking a 40 ounce, but I was drinking every Friday and Saturday. I was 18. I had either just graduated or I was still in high school, but I only had weekends. Anyway, I was like, I'm drinking every weekend, and I'm usually drinking more than everybody else. I'm still drinking when everybody else is done. I'm probably an alcoholic. I'll just go to AA when I'm 25 before I end up under a bridge. 25 rolled around. I was in the Navy. A lot of people drink in the Navy. I had only had 2 DUIs at that point, and a slew of concussions and shit, but I ignored that. I said I'll quit when I'm 30. 30 came around and I couldn't quit when I wanted to. That happened through my 30s, and even as recent as May of 2023, you can't quit when you want to, because it takes what it takes. Ingy, what up? Doing that damn thing. Good to see you, Ingy. Good for you, Taj Coffee. I've quit at a bunch of ages. It's like I say about smoking. I'll tell you how to quit smoking. I'm an expert at it. I've done it 100 times. Thank you, Ingy. I do want to say this. In AA meetings, there's a basket that's passed around, and it's your decision whether you donate or not. It's to buy coffee. It's to pay rent for the building. It's to keep the meetings possible. We are self-sustained community, and sometimes they'll even say, if you're a newcomer, we ask that you don't contribute. But it's your voluntary, and trust me, when you get the AA Holy Ghost taking over your body, mind, and spirit, you're going to want to give all you want. But AA doesn't take all you can give. Some lady died back in the 30s and donated $10,000, and they had to make a rule. We have to remain poor, or else our primary purpose will be tainted. That Rockefeller fellow said the same thing. Anyway, I want to say, your memberships and your super chats and all of this is now going to be for gas money to go to AA and to put in the basket. Now, I'm working at the zoo, Ingy. I don't know if you heard, but I'm working at the zoo part-time. It's 14 hours a week for $13 an hour. But, thank you, Ingy. I want y'all to know, your money keeps this stream going. Your money, I'm going to put it right. I'm not going to put I'm talking $1 at a time. Sometimes I go to 2 meetings a day. But I haven't been putting any money in the basket. And today, alcoholic name, well, I'm not going to tell you his name. But he he's a elderly gentleman, and he said, put your money in the basket. But then he laughed, and he didn't put money in the basket either. So I think there was an understanding. Anyway, your super chats, your memberships, and your viewership helps me drive to AA meetings. And, you know what I'm saying? I just want you to know I'm not going to be smoking crack with your money. I'm not going to be, you know, you know what I mean? 3 times a week. Good for you, Taj. That's how you're still sober. How old are you now? You got sober at 31? Age of 24 and 27. But it seems as you get older, quitting seems tougher. As the disease of alcoholism progresses, as it does, whether you're drinking or not, it's like a shadow of ourselves. It will get smarter with us. It will get more powerful with us. And it's always one step ahead of us, whether it be smarter, stronger, or more cunning, baffling. It's always one step ahead of us. It's our shadow self. Even when we're not drinking, for me, it was 8 years I didn't drink. And as soon as I picked up, it was like I was a street person immediately. 31. Taj got sober at 31 still. And he's still 31. Well, stick in AA and we'll be talking when you're 40 and you'll be like, I'm still sober. I had a seizure at 30, 31. I had a grand mal seizure from alcohol and benzo withdrawal. You can look that story up on my channel, the Sober James channel, if you want to watch it. Alcohol withdrawal, grand mal seizure from benzo withdrawal, Xanax withdrawal, Sober James. This will get you there in the search engine. But you're right. And the disease progresses. That means if you spend the next 5 years without a drink and you pick up at 36, I know this from experience and the experience of others in the rooms of AA. It sounds unbelievable, but I swear to God, it is exactly right. If you pick up at 35 after quitting at 31, it will be like you were drinking that entire time. It's worse than when you were drinking at 31. I hope you take my word for it. It is, and it never fails. There has never been a story of someone that used to not be able to drink without consequences now can pick it up with impunity. Alcoholism is a progressive disease that is a fact, undeniable through immense experience of alcoholics. And I hate to say it, but it takes what it takes. And if you don't believe it now, being an alcoholic, you will try to prove it yourself, like I did and every other alcoholic. And you will either die trying or go insane. The illusion, this is straight from the book, the illusion that we can drink with impunity like other men carries us to the gates of insanity or death. And for all you ladies out there, forgive the man-heavy writing in the big book. It was the 30s. It was the 1930s. Back then, there were, and even when Alcoholics Anonymous got started, there was few women alcoholics that came forward. There's a chapter in the book called Two Wives. Because most of the victims of alcoholism back in those days were from husbands that were going crazy on alcohol. But there's an asterisk by those kinds of things in the book that says, true then, but now there's over 700,000 female alcoholics, whatever. We have built-in forgetters. This is another one of those catchy little phrases of the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous. Of course you forgot. You got built-in forgetters. Alcoholics have built-in forgetters. Stop me if I'm wrong. When you're drinking on end for a long period of time, you forget how good it got when you weren't drinking. When you're sober for a long period of time, you forget how bad it got when you were drinking. When you're drinking for a time, you forget how good it gets when you're sober. When you're sober for a long time, you forget how bad it gets when you're drinking. This is one of the reasons why the newcomer is the most valuable person in the meeting of an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. The newcomer, the person with their shoelaces untied, that just got out of jail, got their license taken care of. If you're in my case, you're wearing sandals coming from your dad's house. You got your construction glasses on because you broke all your other glasses. Newest person is the most valuable person because we alcoholics with 10 years sobriety, 30 years sobriety, a woman today celebrated 41 years of sobriety. There's a guy celebrating in one of the meetings. I don't know. It's 71 years. Ow. Of sobriety. Wait, I don't know. I think it was 41 or 60 or something. I don't know. It was an ungodly amount of sobriety. The reason he still comes to AA meetings is because he knows through immense experience that it's a fact that we have built-in forgetters. And if he doesn't come to AA meetings after 60 years of not drinking, he will eventually forget and pick up a drink. There's the story in the book about the businessman that says, I got a problem with drinking. I'm going to put it down and pick it up when I retire. This also illustrates how it's a progressive illness. The guy had a successful career, didn't pick up a drink until his retirement day, and it said his drinking slippers and the bottle came out. 3 months later, he was in the hospital. And then I always forget the amount, but it's something like a year or two after that, he was dead. Before he hit 70 years old. He died in 5, Taj said. See, that's an AA man right there. Know what I'm saying? 5 years. Within 3 or 4 months, after like 20 years of not drinking, the bottle came out. Within 3 or 4 months, he was in the hospital. In 5 years, he was dead. That would mean he was 70 years old when he died. But he died with a bottle in his hand. The alcoholism disease is progressive. And also that other point I was trying to make that I forgot currently. Reading which page? Yeah, good for you, Taj. See, that's what I'm talking about. This is brotherhood right here. Me and Taj are brothers. We've never seen each other's face. We don't know anything about each other. But there's one thing for sure. We are now brothers in Alcoholics Anonymous. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure about the numbers. All I know is he was in the hospital in a couple months and dead in a couple years because his drinking slippers came out. That's one of my favorite stories in there. And there's a couple. There's the one about the guy who's clean, but he's not maintaining his recovery on a spiritual basis. Decides to stop for a sandwich at the roadside restaurant. He's waiting for a sandwich, and it occurred to him out of nowhere, and this happened to me, you guys know the story that know. Occurred to him out of nowhere, there would be no harm for putting a shot of whiskey in his milk. This was a guy who was sober for a while. Sober, not maintaining his program. This is the insidiousness of the disease. There will come a time where there will be a mental blank spot where we have no mental defense against alcohol. These are the things it says in the book that I go on with my stubborn alcoholic ass and prove in real life. And don't admit that they said it in the book 89 years ago. And I just proved it to myself because that's the nature of the disease. it takes what it takes, which is an unfortunate, and I'm still, patiently waiting for it to be revealed to me whether or not you can actually intervene on someone's journey to sobriety. Meaning, they're going to get drunk as many times as it takes before they get sober. And do I have anything to do with it? I would like to think that, even if sometimes subtly, I can speed up the process. I would love to just stop it right there, like with you, Noah. I would love for you to just stop all of your own thoughts and say, you know what? These guys say go to AA and stay. Stay until the miracle happens. And that's exactly what you do starting this very moment. I wish, I pray, and I hope that that's what happens. But it takes what it takes. And sometimes, I guess it would, sometimes I would like to think it takes running into my chipped tooth face on here on the Sober James channel. And you say to yourself, you know what? That's what Mike Tucker said. According to Mike Tucker, he hasn't drank in 5 years since the day he started watching the Sober James channel. That's what he says. I'm just repeating. That's Mike Tucker, 5 years without a drink. I keep telling him he better go to AA, though, because there will come a time where he has no mental defense against the first drink. I learned that from the book. That's not intuitive. That's not my own idea, thank God, because my own ideas get me drunk. But I wouldn't have came up with that. I say things like, my willpower, now that I know I'm powerless over alcohol, I'll never have another drink again. I've said that. There's a story like that in the book too. Bill W. and Dr. Bob got a hold of a guy. He came off of a bender, lost his job, was homeless. He was coming through withdrawals. He was in the hospital. He said, there's no way in hell I'm drinking again. After you fellas told me everything about alcoholism, there's no way in hell. I don't even have to finish the story, because very soon after that, he was back in the hospital, drunker than before, banging his fist on the table saying, how the f did this happen? It's the mental block. It's the disease of alcoholism without spiritual work. And that's what I mean by it takes what it takes to stay sober too. It took the gift of desperation for me to accept every suggestion that AA has. I don't leave any of it on the table. I take them all now, including the God thing. I was an agnostic until 7 months ago. Now I have a God of my understanding. I put my faith blindly, for me at least, into a God of my understanding, which is a God that I don't understand. I'm a believer in remember when the Bible said, like, if you gaze upon God, your head will explode? That's basically my understanding of God. I don't even try to think of it. I don't even try to comprehend it. I just know it's an all-powerful thing that if I trust in it and not myself, good things happen. Instantly, my anxiety and depression go out the window, for one. If you're stuck in traffic, try saying God's will be done. I don't care if I'm late. I do care, but God's will be done. You know what I mean? I have no control over this traffic jam. God's will be done. And watch as your mood lightens. All of a sudden, you're free to call your grandmother that, is just overjoyed to hear from you. You are now helping another person because your anxiety and depression about worrying about things that you think that you have control over are gone. I think I just wanted to end it. Fuck trying at this point. I'll just go and do another substance, if anything but alcohol, so F my life. Yeah, that's called a case of the fuckets. They're very dangerous. Go to AA. A case of the fuckets will get you killed. My puppers and I were out weeding as usual. Right on. Noah, you just have a case of the fuckets. It has a name because so many alcoholics have gone through it before. But it's dangerous. Fuckets are dangerous. Go to an AA meeting and tell the person you're sitting next to, I got a case of the fuckets, I need some help. And they'll be like, been there, buddy. Here's what I did. Here's what you're going to do. You know what I mean? Some people say AA's work. I say it's literally just receiving a gift and unwrapping it. Get out of your own way, Noah. Get out of your own way. Your opinions are giving you a case of the fuckets. Accept facts. You're an alcoholic, you're sick, you have no power over alcoholism. There has been millions of alcoholics that have gone through exactly what you're going through right now. Go to AA and say, I need help. You are definitely not alone. You definitely aren't unique. You're not uniquely feeling this way. You may say to yourself, yeah, but they didn't have these problems that I have and this, that, and the other thing. False. That will get you further and further away from the rooms of AA. There are all types in AA. Young, old, black, white, girl, guy, doctor, lawyer, homeless guy, zoo security guard, Anthony Hopkins. You know what I'm saying? Bonnie Raitt, Craig T. Nelson, Eminem, Ben Affleck, motherfucking Bradley Cooper, Brad Pitt. There are all types in AA meetings. They have been to where you are. You know for a fact you don't have control. I drink it like water, but my legs are killing me so restless and it makes me want to kill myself and paranoid. Yes, it does. Yes, the disease of alcoholism does. You're not alone. I was just talking about suicide today. Do you know why you want to kill yourself? We go our whole lives in alcoholism not realizing that the problem is myself. Then, in the end, we kill ourselves. You know why we want to kill ourselves? Because subconsciously, we realized ourself is the problem. You know how you get out of yourself? Alcoholics Anonymous. Think of how that makes so much sense. Why do we kill ourselves in the end? Even if we didn't know the entire time. Alcoholism tells us, Alcoholics Anonymous, the book, the steps, they tell us, I am the problem. I know alcoholics that don't say, my name's Bob, I'm an alcoholic. They say, I'm an alcoholic and I'm the problem. Or my name's Bob and I'm the problem. They have now learned that it's their will is the problem. Your ideas, your will, your insanity. You need to get a new way of life in your head. That paradigm shift, that new stuff is in the book of AA, in the program, in the 12 steps. You don't know what to do? I'm telling you what to do. Go to Alcoholics Anonymous and stay until your spiritual awakening. It takes what it takes. You're going to feel this way. This is the feeling that you feel right now about your drinking is what I mean by it takes what it takes. You know what God spells? A gift of desperation. You're being bestowed upon you the gift of desperation. That's God, brother. You know where you go? A group of drunks to get good, orderly direction. You now have the gift of desperation, God. Go to a group of drunks, God, and get the good, orderly direction you need, God. Right. Save yourself. 451 days today. Good for you. Save yourself. Save yourself. Tell Noah how you did it. Noah, your alcoholism is telling you you're unique. AA is not going to work for you. You have a unique set of problems. You're too young, blah, 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 blah. False. Our disease lies to us in our own voice. It's cunning, baffling, and powerful. Do not listen. In other words, stop thinking, go to AA. Bring your ass to AA, your mind will follow. Save yourself. And what they do in rehab, on your very first day waking up in rehab, what was part of your day? What was the majority of what you did in rehab? Noah, do you have the Everything AA app on your phone? Do you have the meeting guide app on your phone? Save yourself. Watching a bunch of people tell the same story over and over honestly made me sober. Seeing people in their 60s calling alcohol their best friend scared me. A group of drunks. God. A group of drunks is what got Save Yourself sober. I use my spiritual toolkit and the meeting guide app, Save Yourself says. Noah, do you have the meeting guide app? Okay, good. All right, excellent. Baby steps. Open the app. Find the next meeting. Click on it. Go to that meeting. Baby steps. Prove AA wrong by going to AA. I know a guy, when he was picking up his 28 year sober chip, said 28 years ago I came into this room to prove y'all wrong. Good for you, Save Yourself. And Noah, bro, you're describing in yourself what we have all been through, what I've been through. A case of the fuckets is very dangerous. But it's got a name because so many alcoholics have gone through it. It's called the fuckets. And it's basically self-explanatory. It's fuck this, fuck that, fuck AA, fuck everything I'm gonna drink, fuck it. And it's very dangerous because you'll wake up, if you are granted the grace to still be alive. Because I'll tell you one thing, Noah, I may have another relapse in me, but I may not have another recovery in me. You know what I'm saying? You may have another binge, you may have another drink, you may have another drunk in you. You may not, we're not promised another recovery. If you don't want to go to a meeting, open the Everything AA app and read some of the big book. And if you don't want to do that, or if you can't do that, just do the next right thing that you can do. In the end, you have to live life for you. Create the world you want, not the world that's been created by your addiction. Right. Essentially, we self-medicate to change our mind. Our addiction is in our mind, so we use mind-altering drugs. We want to alter our reality. We are stuck in our mind because that's the nature of the disease. So we, without even knowing it, take mind-altering drugs. Save Yourself is absolutely right. I learned this in my second rehab. If you're constantly self-medicating to escape your norm, change your norm. This is action. Bring your ass to an AA meeting. Your mind will follow. It may not be instantly. It may not be the second time. But you keep doing it until it works, because that day, let me tell you this, the day, the week, the year that you have your spiritual awakening, It is the greatest high. It is like all other highs on earth, all other drunks, and all the best times ever combined. When you walk with confidence in your own skin, trust in God, you help others, you do esteemable things so you have self-esteem, it's the best high in the world, brother. I will tell you this from experience because I've been high on damn near everything, and I've also had a spiritual awakening. And when you can walk with trust in God and you help others and you clean house and you can walk like that, it's the best high in the world. As long as my thoughts. That's why we got to listen to the higher power, just like James says. Yeah, Kimberly knows the deal. These are John Venturini knows the deal. Save Yourself knows the deal. These are all people that have been where you are, Noah, and are no longer. That's why when an addict tells their story, it has a format like this: what it was like, what it happened, and what it's like now. I have videos on here of what it was like. I talk about all the time what happened. And I'm here before you telling you what it's like now. Best high in the world. Sobriety is the best high in the world. Sober is the new drunk, baby. You do whatever it takes to get sober. Then you do whatever it takes to stay sober. And help others is one of those. Trusting in God is one of those things it takes. Going to an AA meeting to stay sober is what it took for me. And, I can't tell you that's what it'll take for you. But I'll tell you, bro, if you think you're bad off with your drinking, talk to anyone in my life over the past 25 years, and they will tell you a story that I don't even remember about how bad it got. Whatever it takes. You do whatever it takes. So if you walked 10 miles into the woods, you get ready to walk 10 miles out. And you're not going to walk out immediately because you didn't get there immediately. It takes patience. It takes these 12 principles of Alcoholics Anonymous: honesty, hope, faith, courage, integrity, willingness, humility, love, discipline, perseverance, spirituality, and service. Let's run them down again before we get out of here. These are now my code. Everything that I do in my life, because it has been proven to me to be a fact through, I forget the word they used. It has been proven to me to be a fact through something experience, just like endless experience. It is proven to me to be a fact that when I use ideas that aren't my own, none of these principles, except a couple maybe, were part of my life. Let me run them down again. This is the code that I live by. If your next thing that you do, Noah, doesn't involve one of these things, it's not to be done. Honesty, hope, faith, courage, integrity, willingness, humility, love, discipline, perseverance, spirituality, and service. Those are the 12 spiritual principles of Alcoholics Anonymous. And they are now my code. Noah, my thoughts are with you. There is a chair open in Alcoholics Anonymous for you right now as we speak. The first one is the one. The first one is the one that you have to absolutely do before you move on to the next one. It's the only. It is said to be the only one that you do absolute 100% before you move on. I am powerless over alcohol, and my life has become unmanageable. The principle associated with that one is honesty. An old timer told me once, whenever he relapsed, people would ask him why he relapsed. There was only one answer he learned in the end was true, and it was, I lied to myself and believed it. He wasn't doing the first step. Every time you drink, as an alcoholic, you're lying to yourself and believing it. The first principle is honesty. I am powerless over alcoholism. My life has become unmanageable. But thank you for being here, Noah. You remind me that no matter how far away, no matter how long my sobriety is, I'm as close to a drink as you are. I'm an arm's length away from a drink. And you being here today, doing the next right thing, has reminded all of us that think maybe it's been long enough of not having a drink. Maybe I'm like all powerful again and my ideas are the bomb again and my will. And I am the bomb and I am so strong. I've gone 7 months. I've gone 7 years. You know what I mean? I'm the bomb. You know, I forget about God. I forget about going to AA meetings. It's people, it's newcomers like you, Noah, that remind us we're all one arm's length away from a drink. It doesn't matter how long we've had. We're all one decision, one opinion, one case of the fuckets away from a drink. And I'm here every night, every weeknight, because in sobriety, I am slowly rebuilding what addiction and alcoholism has taken from me. So I work now on Saturday and Sunday nights. Every weeknight I'm here at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be here tomorrow. I hope you are too, Noah. Well, don't be sorry, brother. It means it's not just do the next right thing. We've all had the fuckets. It's just part of the disease. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It is not our fault that we're alcoholics. It is our responsibility to do the next right thing. Sometimes we can't. That's no excuse. But sometimes it takes what it takes. And hopefully it doesn't take your life. Hopefully it doesn't take prison. You know what I mean? All of that will get better. You just take the first baby step. I'm powerless. I need help. I am the problem. And don't take that the wrong way. I am my problem. You are your problem. Mike was his problem. You know what I'm saying? My sponsor was his own problem. It takes what it takes. Hopefully it doesn't take your life. Read a little bit off the AA, Everything AA app. You'll feel better. Just a tiny bit of action. Just one little baby step. You wouldn't believe how much it makes you feel better. That's my suggestion. And yeah, I'm sorry you're feeling so down. But it does take what it takes. And maybe it's God's will that you're feeling this way right now. Because it takes what it takes. It takes every drunk to get sober. And that's no excuse to get drunk again. I don't think you're that stupid, but I had to say it. All right, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And until then, keep it clean, keep it real, keep doing the damn thing, unless it's not in God's will. Keep doing the damn thing if it's God's will. Peace. Jaws. I love that movie.